Hi there everybody, this is Casey at State Line Fiberglass Window Shop and Exteriors, and we're putting this video together today to show you exactly what happens when we flash or waterproof a deck at the ledger board. A lot of customers ask us about decking. We have a lot of services that prior companies have come and put ledger boards or decks up against siding after it's been installed, and it always seems to be done the wrong way or something improper. With that, a lot of homeowners aren't exactly definite on how flashing a deck should be done. So what we're going to do is today we're going to show you exactly a good proper water shedding technique, one and only one that we use, and it's in a multiple different layers. So let's jump into it. First, we have the James Hardie fiber cement siding. With that, your first layer of flashing is separated from everything. And guys, that's the most important thing about flash, is the fact that it's separated, that it's not one continuous piece. You need multiple layers of flashing. Flash and waterproofing is one of the single most important things that you can do, whether it be around windows, whether it's around decks, any protrusion in the home that siding gets cut around. You need to make sure that the company that you choose understands exactly what water shedding is and the importance behind it. So with the James Hardie siding, if you can see, we've got this first layer of capping. This first layer of capping supersedes and protrudes up beneath the Hardie siding. Oh, they say about 3 to 4 inches, so we do a good solid 3 to 4 inches. That's going to do one solid thing. When the wind starts to blow, water doesn't necessarily run uphill, but it certainly can be pushed. We want to make sure that we flash high enough that the water doesn't get and infiltrate the home higher than the flashing behind it. So a good solid 3 to 4 inches is always the best way to do it. Our second layer of water flashing would be right here. So this would be the top of the deck. This is actually where the decking or the planks that you would walk on would seat into. So this is the second layer, and with that, we shed over top of that with another board. This is a polymer board that James Hardie says specifically they do not want their siding that close to the ground. There's some install techniques behind it, but we'll talk about that another day. Then if you look, so we're on our 1, 2, this is the third layer of water flashing. Guys, I want you to understand that this is not, these two pieces are not a C-cap. This is not just something that we set in there so it looks good or it looks pretty or it looks like we knew what we were doing. If you look up underneath, I'll lift this piece of flashing up and you can see that these are separate. This is one piece and this is another piece. So we have about 3 inches of flashing going up beneath the James Hardie fiber cement siding. We put another piece of flashing that protrudes up behind this runner board, and then we put the board on top. We want to start down here and go up underneath both of them. So when we watershed, essentially this is the way you want to do it. We work from the top down. Now we're going to work from the bottom up. First layer of water shedding right here, which will go above the ledger board, which is against the house. That protrudes up. Then you have your second layer of water flashing, which will go essentially for the decking. The decking can come out and over top of it. This is very important. If you do not see a flashing protruding from the house and a contractor tells you that it's flash, but you don't see this, there will be issues. Again, it is to keep water away from the house. When water spills off, you want to run away from the deck. Well, out here in the Midwest, we got high winds. Water will be pushed up underneath, which is essentially why you start at the bottom. Once it does and it gets pushed up underneath, it hits this first layer of flashing and can run out, and you see the lip on it. It's extended away from the house. Then we've got the AZEK. Then the 1, 2, 3, 4th layer of water shedding, and then our 5th layer is essentially the James Hardie board above the deck. A lot of customers ask us what should come first. Well, the truth of the matter is that's really up for interpretation. But the truth is, if you know where the footprint of your deck is going to be, it doesn't matter how far out in the yard that you go. You just make sure that you got a good footprint up against the house. And what we will do now, guys, Now folks, if we look at this ledger board, we can see that it's not a treated piece of lumber. We do not do decks, but we do want to make sure that we shed the deck and we put the ledger board up against the wall for the footprint. At that time, whoever you use later can come and they can take our temporary ledger board off. They can then install their new ledger board without disrupting the siding at all, and they can marry the two together and you will have a perfectly watersheded deck. So with that said, Casey with State Line Fiberglass Window Shop and Exteriors, we hope to see you soon.